everybody! Happy Friday! It's a special Friday stream, and Hollywood had a special amount of news for us. I see some people joined right before the stream. If you become a member during a stream or right before, I always like to give you a shout out. So let me welcome our new members here. Hold on, I got to go pretty far back to get one of them. Nathan Lees, thank you for joining. And then we just got Misty Rand. Misty Rand, I've seen you before. Thank you for rejoining. And then we just had somebody else join, Dan Graham. Thank you, Dan. It's so nice to see everybody. As always, we'll have 3 stories of the day, and then for the final 10 minutes of the stream, hey, Tote Anna Brink and Samuela Mia. At the end of the stream, it's always an Ask Me Anything. You can ask me anything you like for the last 10 minutes of the stream. So we got a lot of great stories to go over today. I got my Nurse Ratched screeners today, ridiculously early. I'm going to finish The Great, and then I'm going to watch Ratched. Also, by the way, I think they're like new emojis today. I have to download my new update on my phone, but I was trying to put emojis on my tweet, and they had an emoji wearing like Groucho Marx glasses and a mustache, and I was like, where's that on my phone? I love it. I wanted to send it to a friend of mine. I wanted to be like, look at this crazy emoji. Hey, Gene Davis. Thanks for joining. Marvin J. Did I miss somebody? I think somebody. I got everybody. Excellent. I like to give all the new shout outs. So anyway, that's what's going on. As we give people a few moments to join us, also I'd love to know, where's everybody watching from today? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my red shirt. Who makes this? Scotch and Soda, I think. I got it at the Garden State Plaza Mall. And a great jacket that I bought right before coronavirus and now haven't been able to wear. Damn it! Czech Film Fantastic is in Ireland. Hey, Francis Viola, thanks for joining. Diego is in Guatemala. Ivan, yeah, Lovecraft Country's doing great on the Rotten Tomatoes scale. I just wrote them again. I was like, where's my screener, HBO? And they were like, we're getting it to you. So I should hopefully be able to review that early next week. Michael is, let's see here. No, Michael, sorry, that's a question. We're not quite there yet. They're not making a Superman game right now. Ned is watching from England. Shield 91 from sunny Michigan. I saw somebody just joined. Where did that get go? Quentin Coleman, thank you for joining. Let's see here. Michael says, let's see here. Nope, Samir says, I finally made it by staying up at 5 a.m. in Hong Kong. Samir, you're a rock star. You're a rock star. Marvin is in a small village in Germany. That sounds lovely. Quentin, who just joins in Houston, Texas. Jose Garcia is having Chipotle tacos in Florida. Oh, delicious. Evan Moore is in Ohio as usual. Let's see here. Lisa McPederson just woke up in time. I'm so happy. Ari says it's very summery in London. That's excellent. Captain Keen's also in London. The Chris Channel just made it. Let's see here. Vicky Van is in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's a nice name. Nice alliteration there. Hey, Barbie. Red is in a humid cell in Belle Reve Penitentiary. Is there any other kind, right? That's a good one, Red. Let's see here. Tote Anna Brink, who just joined, is saying hello from Sweden. I love it. I love you guys being all over the globe. Joe Murray is in New Jersey and cannot wait for DC fandom. Tell me about it. I can't wait. They're sending me a box. I'm supposed to get it on like not next coming week, but the week after. What's it going to have in it? If it's going to have a shirt that I can wear while I cover the shows? Sander is watching from Amsterdam with an ice cream. I can't eat the dairy. Damn it. Let's see here. I'll do a couple more shout outs. Leon is in San Francisco. Stardust 490 is in Sacramento, California. Jordan went to the Forbidden Planet shop today and they had your Superbia comic and you bought it on sale. You got volume 1. That was a long comment, but I'm glad I read it. I'm so glad. I wrote a comic book called Superbia and Jordan picked it up. I'm so glad you were able to get it. If you go to Comixology and you like digital comics, if anyone's interested, if you become a part of like the Comixology Unlimited, it's available as part of that. Very proud of that. Somebody just joined. I got to give the shout out to the new member, Logan Davis. Thank you for joining. All right, everybody, thank you so much. We're going to go over the stories today. And then, of course, as always, you can ask me anything you would like for the final 10 minutes of the stream. All right. It was a tough morning, I have to say, because there was like a lot of non-news. Like there was a lot of about DC fandom, but there wasn't anything to make a video about. I was so frustrated. This is a very difficult position to be in for me, because I don't want to waste your time with a video that doesn't have anything in it. Because, when you see a video from me, I want you to know that it's going to be worth your time. So, sometimes I'm not sure if I should make a video or not. So I spent a lot of this morning being like, should I make a video? Should I make a video? I don't know. But I decided that I'm going to wait till Monday, because I believe that's when the panel listing will come out, and I can tell you what panels I think will be worth your time. Based on what was announced today, though, they didn't announce it, but hey, Lena, thanks for joining. Lena's a longtime member, as you can see, Wonder Woman fan. That's very sweet of you to say, Quinn. But basically, it's going to be an 8-hour block of programming. So the way they're going to work it is that it's going to be 8 hours repeated 3 times. And that's how they're going to handle the different time zones. Although who wants to watch old panels, for Pete's sakes? Everyone's going to want to watch these panels when they happen so they can get the news. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a ridiculous time to start, quite frankly. It should start like 8 a.m. Pacific, because that's really wasting a lot of the East Coast timers' day. And for those of you in Europe, forget it. What time is that? So that's 6 p.m. it starts for you. DC fandom starts at 6 p.m. That's so stupid. But that's what they're doing. So this is the first time they've ever done it. It's very exciting. We're just gonna roll with it. So it's crazy. It's not a full 24 hours, Drabrano. It's 8-hour blocks of programming, and the site will be active for 24 hours. It also apparently has one hell of a store. I saw a tweet from Patrick, I forget his last name, who works on Harley Quinn, the showrunner, and he said he's seen the store, and it's amazing. I don't even usually buy stuff because, I had mold, and so I get nervous about stuff like that. But when I saw that, I was like, maybe I should check out the store. I'm very excited. You should check out the facts thing that I tweeted, because it has a lot of interesting information. Like, for instance, the website will allow you to take a screen grab. It'll take a screen grab for you. They know you're going to want to be taking screen grabs. Take a note, Quibi. DC fandom not only allows, I didn't put the thing on the first story. Thank you, Lisa. It's kind of the first story. It's a predecessor to the beginning of the first story. But anyway, you'll be able to take a screen grab. You'll be able to go to the store. Patrick Schumacher. Thank you, Czech Film Fantastic. So I'm very, very, very excited. Very excited. Very excited. I will be covering. I remember the Warner Brothers store, Stu Pew Pew. It was amazing. I think this is great. I think this is so good. I can't believe how good DC fandom is. I think Marvel should be like, holy crap, I can't believe how good this is, and that someone else is doing it. That's how good it is. You would think Marvel would be doing this. It's such a good idea and seems to be so well executed. I will tell you from what I've heard that many of the panels have been recorded in advance. Many of them. Many of them. Basically, there are a couple of panels that will only air once. They will not repeat. I suspect those will be the big deal panels, the biggest ones that'll have the biggest announcements, and those will probably be live. But there's an overall 8-hour programming block that will continue. I also want to give you a heads up that some of the panels, while they'll celebrate things that are amazing, you won't necessarily get an announcement of a new edition of that content. For instance, I think they're obviously going to have a Harley Quinn panel because a bunch of that talent is listed, but I don't know if they're going to announce season 3. I know there's one thing that you would think they would have an announcement, but I've heard they don't. I can't give it away. It was told to me in confidence. But there's a panel that you would think they would have a big announcement, but they're not going to. Darn it. All right, so anyway, it's it's exciting times. It's an exciting time to be a DC fan. Wow, this makes up for all the crap we've been put through. But yes, I think the movie panels will probably be the ones that are only going to air once. So let's talk about the Suicide Squad game. So I reported to you back in June, late June, and I'm not the only one who reported it. A number of people reported that Rocksteady had bought the domain name for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So Everybody knew about this, and there were actually a couple YouTube videos made about it. So I'm surprised that so many people were surprised today. But they were, because Rocksteady officially tweeted out a poster. I mean, I feel like it's not Doom Patrol that I'm talking about. Check Film Fantastic. Don't worry. But anyway, and just because something doesn't have an announcement doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just not going to be announced at DC Fandom. All right. So anyway, so Rocksteady put up this very cool poster, and they picked Superman, and it said "Target locked" or "Target acquired." Get ready for DC Fandom, and everyone went woo! I think it would have it trended, and I think it would have trended even more so if they had more information and more visuals. But they didn't. But I think what they have is a very good opening salvo. So this, of course, is the company that has done the Batman Arkham series that was quite popular. And now they're going to do this game, which will focus on the Suicide Squad, but will, of course, have Justice League characters in it. Oh, it's going to be so great. Please go check out my video. I talk about stuff like, for instance, Suicide Squad versus Justice League was a comic book, which was actually a pretty crappy comic book, quite frankly. But clearly it's an idea that Warner Brothers likes. And so I think they're letting the comic book and now the video game divisions do the legwork for a potential movie. And if James Gunn can fix the Suicide Squad, I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was a Suicide Squad versus Justice League movie. I'd greenlight that. It just writes the checks right themselves. Although they didn't do Gotham City Sirens, so Warner Brothers doesn't always do what they should. But sometimes they do, and that makes us very happy. But I was also very happy to see that one person tweeted, and she was in the Twitter moment for this. She's a freelance writer in the video game world, and she said, "I can now say that I have worked for years." She said years on this game. So Rocksteady sure took their sweet time. This better be amazing. Alexander Valentine, I've played some of the games, but I've played them largely at events and stuff like that. I thought Injustice was a lot of fun to play. I like fighting games. Fighting games are fun. But anyway, she said she's worked for years on the Suicide Squad game for Rocksteady as a writer. And also she said it was comedic. So I thought that was great. I'm glad they have a female comedy writer on it. I hope she got to write some funny lines for Harley. Harley, I feel, it's never funny enough. She should be funny. She should be funny. So this sounds just, I think, excellent. Very, very good. I like this poster, by the way. I love how pronounced Superman's curl is. Look at that curl. He's like, in case you didn't know it was Superman, here's my S on my forehead. So he's got the Superman curl, and I like the hair. I love the eyes, and as you know, I'm a big fan of heat vision. It's one of his best assets. So he also has like really strong veins around his eyes. So my question is, either is he sick, like has the Justice League been zombified, like deceased, and that's why that's why Suicide Squad has to take him down. Or maybe it just takes a lot of capillary action to, got a lot of blood to his eyes when he makes them work. But anyway, the heat vision looks really cool. So I'm very excited. I, of course, want to see character design. We want to see the roster, Suicide Squad. If it's Suicide Squad, it's going to be Harley Quinn. She has become like a defining member of that team. She reinvigorated the comic book as well. By the way, the recent comic with Tom Taylor, who also writes Deceased, it's excellent. You should pick it up. It's very, very good. It's one of the best comics actually out right now. But, Deadshot will be in it. My question is, which version of Deadshot? Movie version or comic book? Probably comic book. Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller, and then I'll be curious to see what the rest of the team will be. It'll have to be Killer Frost, Red. Maybe I should call you Survivor of Storms, because if anybody's reading this after the fact, they'll be like, who's this Red she talks to all the time? So I'll just go Survivor of Storms. But I think Killer Frost would have to be here because, as you saw in the comic book, and as I discussed in that video I made, she was what they needed to take down the Justice League. So if you don't have her, a Livewire would be great too. King Shark, I wouldn't be surprised if the lineup was pretty similar to the upcoming movie, but we'll see. It's very exciting. I think this is going to be great. And of course, we want to see what Harley's going to wear. What's Harley going to wear? I can't wait. I have Harley's colors on today, actually, come to think of it. I love Harley. Great character. Can't be ruined, quite frankly. All right. They have some good people playing her. Even though I didn't like the choices that Margot Robbie made as a producer, I still think that acting-wise, she's a very good... She's not the best Harley, but I think she's a good Harley. Maybe Ivy Mika, but I don't really feel like Ivy is like a real Suicide Squad character. I mean, she's been on the team a couple of times throughout the comic book's history for Suicide Squad, but to me, I don't really see her as a Suicide Squad member. I think Killer Frost is a better choice. I mean, also, I think once you put her and Harley together, I mean, how are you not going to just do a Harley and Ivy story or a Gotham City Sirens story? It just doesn't make any sense. All right, so that's the first story of the day. All right, Cheetah would be interesting, Kevin, because it also ties into the upcoming movie. Cheetah, also not a really like a usual Suicide Squad member, but I'll allow it. I would prefer her over Ivy, quite frankly. All right, so second story of the day. All right. Second story of the day. So Love Victor has finally gotten a season 2. It took them so long. They made us all sweat it out, especially after the fact that it was announced that Love Victor was the most watched drama on the platform its first week of release. It's a huge hit for Hulu. I don't know what took so long. Maybe they had to iron out some deals. But they finally have put it together, and Love Victor season 2 was announced today. If you haven't watched Love Victor, I highly recommend it. It is a wonderful, wonderful show. And it is so bingey. It's like 30-minute episodes. I watched it in about 24 hours. It's an incredible, incredible show. They put a nice little sizzle reel out on the Twitter account if you want to go watch it. And they highlighted the couples that were kind of like spotlighted at the end of the series. And also, they had a great music choice again. One of the best things about Love Victor was the music. It has like such an amazing music, such an amazing soundtrack. And yes, it did end on a cliffhanger. It ended on a big cliffhanger. It was one of those shows where you're like, if you don't have another season, what did you do this to me for? So that was another reason that made us all very nervous. So I would definitely go onto Hulu and watch this. And also, on something nice is that the writers have said, not just with this announcement, but when season 1 came out, they were giving some interviews, and they talked about the fact that they had first written their show and filmed it to be on Disney Plus, and at the last minute it got pulled. So they were like, they had written it to be on Disney Plus. They failed because Disney Plus said no when they saw it, but I thought it was interesting that they said that now that they know that they're on Hulu and it's very successful on Hulu, they can go a little bit further even and be a little bit more adult. So I think that's great. I'm very, very happy about that. So I also want to point out that getting Hulu has changed my life. I love Hulu. When Love Victor came out, I watched the first episode for free on Twitter. They had did a live stream at 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, damn it, there were no I had not in the past had a big relationship with Hulu. So I had forgotten to get the screeners, I'm sorry to say. So a lot of you were like, you got to review the whole season, Grace. You got to do it. And a lot of you very nicely sent me your accounts and said, you can borrow my account, Grace. Here's my login information. And I was like, no, I don't want to take someone else's account. And also, I should support the industry I cover. So I paid for it. And I have to say, it's an amazing service. All of you who said you like it, I've been so down on Hulu, and I was like, Hulu sucks. I don't want Hulu. And now that I have it, I'm like, Hulu is like one of my favorite services. It's so good. It not only has an amazing group of sitcoms. It has I Love Lucy, The Golden Girls. I'm working my way through Seinfeld right now. I'm towards the end of season 4. Little Fires Everywhere was amazing. And then also, I just started The Great. I love The Great. And then I also saw last night that they have Casino on there. I was looking for a movie to watch this weekend, because, again, I'm still pretty much locked inside. And so I was like, I'll watch Casino. And then I have to remember, if I want to watch a movie, to check all my streaming services to see if it's on any of them, because I don't want to pay for stuff that I could stream. It's very frustrating, because I'm paying a lot for streaming services at this point. But anyway, it's a great service. That's right, Natalia. They have I Love Lucy. And as Rashad just pointed out, they have all the Fox animation. I mean, and The Great, I've only watched one episode, but I like it a lot. So it's great. I really love it. I think that quite frankly, I think it's worth the money. I have the ad-free version because for instance, I got so upset with Apple Music. After watching The Great, I wanted to listen to Johann Strauss music when I was getting ready to go to sleep. And I was so upset that they made Johann Strauss Radio a calm station, which had like a huge ad in it. Not even like 10 seconds. They were going on like a minute of this lady talking about how great the Calm app was. And I was like, you know what's making me not calm? That I pay money for Apple Music. It's supposed to be ad-free because of the $10 a month I pay for this. And you put an ad on this? I got very upset. But anyway, I really think that, I should watch What We Do in the Shadows, Samir. You're right. Now I have it. now I have it. And also, the upcoming season of Fargo is on. But I do have FX, so I could have just watched it because it comes with my cable package. But anyway, I'm going to watch it on Hulu. So it's great. I love Hulu. Platinum Diva watches Golden Girls and Living Single all the time. I'm telling you, I'm a huge Hulu convert. I think it's, and the new Hulu layout, this is turned into an ad for Hulu. But it's great. I love it. I highly recommend it. And you know what show you should watch? Love, Victor, because it's great. All right, so next up. Chico, you can get an ad version, but you don't have to. I pay for the non-ad version, because if I'm paying for it, there better not be a damn ad on it. All right, so for the fourth story, will I ever get rid of cable, Kai Luna? I don't know. I'm sure there's a point in the future where I will, but I'm not ready, because I don't understand how I would watch live television. I'm like, how am I going to watch the Super Bowl? And also, there are a couple of sitcoms and stuff that I watch. Well, there's only one right now, Mom, on CBS. But I'm like, how am I going to watch that stuff? I don't know. And also, my cable and my internet and my phone are all tied together. So I'm like, how would I have internet if I didn't have the cable? Well, YouTube TV is very expensive. So I get worried about that. It's like $50. And how do I get my internet? I have like really fast internet. Not to brag or anything, but my internet is super speedy. It's like the Flash. All right, so let's get to the third story of the day. I've already switched to Hulu. I can't have this much change in my life. Maybe YouTube TV in 2021. I can't. It's too much for me. All right. Let's see here. Evan, I am. A little bit more than that, actually. I think my package is about $175. Yeah. I haven't done any of the boops today. All right, let's do the final boop. Hold on. Boop! All right, not only do I have a third story for you, but it comes with a graphic. All right, so Warner Media, right before I started this stream, had a really significant shakeup, like a huge shakeup. And it's really a very damning story for HBO Max. Like, you know, John Stankey and Warner Brothers have been like, what are you talking about? HBO Max is great. We love it. It's doing so well. But this tells a very different story. So Jason Kilar has recently joined HBO Max, right? And everybody knows about it. And a lot of you, in fact, tweet Mr. Kilar all the time, mostly, I'm sure, about the Snyderverse. And I wonder how that's going to work out for him. I would love for him to become very active in the fan community like Kevin Feige. Warner Brothers doesn't really have anybody like that. But anyway, today he made a bit of a boss move and he fired, well, just like Kevin Feige got rid of Jeff Loeb. Well, Kevin Feige didn't personally fire Jeff Loeb. He had Marvel do it by giving him control of Marvel Television. But I'm not sure if Jason Kilar personally fired these two gentlemen, but he wrote a letter about it. He was the one who had to address it to the company. It's bad. So Bob Greenblatt's on the left and Kevin Riley is on the right. Both of them were at the HBO Max presentation on stage launching this product. And now, less than a year later, they're both fired from Warner Media. They're not even reassigned. They're out of the company. It's interesting. Bob Greenblatt was just hired away from NBC like a year ago. And it was a very big deal to hire him away from NBC. He was considered a big player over there. And interestingly enough, Kevin Riley, it's been rumored, has been taking meetings over at NBC. I guess he could see the writing on the wall. And in fact, when they hired Bob Greenblatt, the gentleman on the left, they forced out the former HBO leadership that had run the that subscription service for like a decade. And so they got rid of that guy. I think it was like something Casey. And so that guy had to leave for this new exciting team of Bob Greenblatt and Kevin Riley. But they're out. Yeah, Lloyd, you're right. You know, forget who's running this thing. They need to rebrand. HBO Max is not a good title. It should be something with Warner Brothers in it. We keep telling them this. It's so obvious. I wonder how long it'll take them to get to that point. But anyway, like, we should all tweet Jason Kilar. Be like, Jason Kilar has the wrong name. And he's like, I don't have that kind of power. So anyway, HBO Max, when it launched, in its first month, it got 4.1 million subscribers. And the trade has said, the trades that were covering this have said, and this is very bad, they said there's no breakout show on the service. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. So let me look at this little graphic for you. I want you to be able to read it, so I'm going to cover my face up for a minute. All right, now look at that. So these are the subscribers currently for streaming services. This graphic comes, I believe, from Variety. So Netflix has 193 million subscribers in the entire world. And I'd like to point out to you that there's over 1 billion people on the face of the earth. And so as you can see, there's room for growth in the streaming market. So Amazon Prime is right behind them at 150. I guess because it's really a subscription service for free 2-day shipping, and you can watch videos if you would like. Then Disney Plus is at 54.5. We're going to talk about Disney more on Sunday on Movie Math. Jesse, what's funny about what there's 8 billion. There's 8 billion people on the face of the earth. Oh, as a Netflix executive, I get excited about that. Some of them, I don't know how many of those people are sharing Netflix accounts, quite frankly. But still, there's a lot of room to grow. But anyway, on Friday, we're gonna talk about Disney Plus is currently up to 60 million. So, not a huge amount of growth, quite frankly. So I think, by the way, a sneak peek of Movie Math on Sunday, I believe that's one of the reasons they're doing this Mulan thing, because they need some reason to get people to subscribe to Disney Plus. Because I think they're seeing a slowdown. Yes, this is, someone pointed out, this graphic is from February, and right now Disney Plus is only at 60. So they added about like 5.5 million extra subscribers. So I think that they feel like, especially during the pandemic when people are hurting financially, that you're not going to get a lot of new signups in the near future. So I think that Disney Plus is nervous. And I agree. I'm shocked too, Lucas, that Hulu has 32.1 million subscribers. Holy crap. No wonder Disney said they have overall 100 million subscribers. That's how they did that. They did some creative math. So Hulu has 32.1 million subscribers. CBS All Access has 13.5. That's not bad. Showtime, 13.5 as well. Apple TV, 10 million. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for Apple TV. Peacock also has 10 million, but remember, Peacock is free with ads. Stars has 6.8, and there's HBO Max at the bottom with 4.1, only beating out Quibi, which has 2. Quibi has become like a punchline in Hollywood. But HBO Max is really low down. Now, of course, there are more HBO subscribers, but they are not HBO Max subscribers, so they can't get the exclusive content. They also embarrassingly had to admit that a number of people who are HBO Max eligible were neglected to upgrade. Either they didn't want to, or they forgot and didn't realize they could. I do agree with many of you that the problem is Vicky, new member. Oh, no, not new member, but I saw your name in the shout out in the beginning. That's a nice pink shirt you have on, Vicky. Vicky said Roku and Amazon is a problem, that they're not available on that. And I agree. That's one of the things that was mentioned in this article about the Warner Brothers shakeup, that those deals haven't been struck. So hold on. Let me get rid of this image. All right, I'm back. So yeah, a good question here. Who wrote that? Where'd it go? Where did it go? I'd like to give the credit to the question, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Someone just asked me about Wonder Woman 1984. Would it be put on the because of this? Oh, Diego did. Diego, when you see those numbers, it's tough because the numbers are so low that would anybody watch Wonder Woman if that was the case? That's also very alarming. Let me tell you, I did a Doom Patrol Season 2 spoiler review today. And while I was writing it, I was like, oh man, should I have done a Doom Patrol Season 3 video? Darn it. But then I spent hours on this thing, like 2 days. I lost 2 days to doing this video. And I uploaded it, and I have to tell you, and so YouTube has very good analytics. So they told me after the first 30 minutes of it being uploaded, they said, we have to tell you, Grace, that this is the least popular video you've uploaded like in the last week and a half. And it was like less people watched the Doom Patrol Season 2 spoiler review in the first 30 minutes than the American Pickle review. And nobody cared about that either because nobody's watching HBO Max. It's terrifying. And so it's a problem. And that's why I shared that Doom Patrol story with you to explain to you why it's very difficult for me with covering these shows. Like, people are interested in them when they debut, but when they get into second or third seasons and people haven't been watching them, it's hard for me to cover them. I was also surprised that Umbrella Academy wasn't as big a traffic driver as it was in the past. But I think part of the problem there is that people are just distracted with the pandemic. So you have to factor that in a little bit as well. But yeah, the fact that Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn are amazing shows. And I wish people were watching them. And I cover them still anyway because I love them. But I have to be I can't do as much coverage as I would for a more popular show, to be honest with you. As I said in my spoiler review, Doom Patrol, I think, is at the point where it could warrant a weekly episode to cover it every week when it comes out. But not enough people watch the show for me to make that effort. And so it's annoying. And I'm upset that not enough people are subscribing to HBO Max because I worry that HBO Max is going to say Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn, hey Sam Automatic, thanks for joining. I'm worried that HBO Max will say that Harley Quinn and Doom Patrol don't move the needle in terms of subscribers. And it's like, no, it's because they're also still available on DC Universe. We told you to kill that service before HBO Max launched so that everybody would go into HBO Max. But I think that's another problem. Look, most people are going to get HBO Max so that they can watch DC content. That's just the honest truth. And when they first announced it, I also had said, how do you not have a Harry Potter show on here? It's beyond ridiculous there isn't a Harry Potter streaming show on there. They haven't even announced one of those, but we know like a Green Lantern show is coming. But I think DC is their main driver of interest, to be honest with you. So I think it's crazy that they're spreading out their audience between DC and DC Universe, by the way, wasn't even on that graphic. I don't know, because everyone forgot about it, so they didn't cover how many subscribers it has. Maybe the information isn't publicly available. I don't know. But it's just really, really crazy. I think that DC Universe will be folded, and so hopefully that will help those shows and HBO Max in addition. But it's crazy. It's just nuts. You know, Barbie, I hope the Snyder Cut does drive subscriptions. I heard from a source that they didn't give them as many subscriptions as they wanted off the bat, but that's because the show is a year away. Of course it didn't. Very few people are going to sign up, as I said before, for a service for like a year before the content comes that they want. I mean, that's just pretty obvious, I think. I think everybody knows that is the case. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. What would you guys... Mika keeps saying Warner Max. I don't like Warner Max. Warner Brothers. I think... I know that AT&T is trying to sell the Warner part of the name, but it's the Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is ingrained in all of our minds. What do you guys prefer? Warner Brothers or Warner? I like Warner Brothers. I don't know about WB Live, Brian, because it's not Brian. They could call it Warner Brothers Plus and be like, F you, Disney. Let's see here. Yeah, Lloyd. They also have a bunch of, most of you prefer Warner Brothers too. WB Max, says Rashad. Maybe. I just like Warner Brothers Plus. Disney can't say they have a thing about Plus. You know, you can't copyright that. It's Apple TV Plus. So I don't see why that's not what you call it for streaming. I would say Warner Brothers Plus. That's what I would call it. And I would make Disney sue me, quite frankly. Ha 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 ha. I'd say go ahead and sue me. And sue Apple while you're at it. Warner Brothers Plus. That Warner Brothers minus, Evan. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. They could call it the multiverse if they wanted to. But that would just, I think, complicate things. That's hilarious. Warner Plus. I guess Warner Plus, Sean, is a little easier to say than Warner Brothers Plus. I agree. All right. Very interesting. Hey, Ian Chang. Okay, so let's get to the Ask Me Anything portion of the show. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. All right. So it's 5:27. You can ask me anything you'd like until 5:37. And then I must go. I do love talking to you guys. I could talk to you all day. I appreciate that some of you wanted me to do a live stream during DC Fandom, but I got to do the individual videos. I got to do the trailer reactions. I'll do probably the trailer breakdowns the next day. Thomas says WandaVision news. You know, I gotta say, it's pretty hilarious. That Mulan bombshell was such a big deal that nobody paid attention to the fact that, as I said, Bob Chapek said that they have to still begin filming on these shows, and so it's probably going to be a while until we see the Marvel shows. I thought that was pretty funny. That was an amazing sleight of hand by Bob Chapek. Alexander Valentine, Conjuring 3 has been moved to next year. I believe it took that June date. You know, the one that I said was empty? Well, Box Office Mojo didn't update their thing correctly, and it's been moved to like first weekend of June, I think. Marvin says, do you think there will be a Harry Potter show? I think at some point. I think that they have such a big problem with J.K. Rowling that I think it's going to take a while for them to figure that out. Diego, I did see that Ezra Miller will be at DC Fandom. They're moving ahead with him, you know. Let's see. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake just in terms of him as an actor. I just don't think he's a fit with the material. But you know what? Maybe the Snyder Cut could change my mind. So we'll see. Jico says, who would win a battle between Deadpool and Harley Quinn? Oh, that's funny. Well, Deadpool has a healing factor, so he'd have to win. Oh, Mika says, James Wan Knight Rider movie thoughts. I think that's weird to me that Knight Rider would be something that would be what people would like today, a sentient car. That seems a little silly to me, but I think James Wan is very talented, and so if anyone can adapt the material, I think it would be him, and he did a fantastic job with another car movie, of course, the Fast and Furious entry that he did, Furious 7, but let's see how, I would have to see how it comes out. Alexander Valentine says that I used to praise Ezra. I really did. I loved Ezra Miller. I think I have no ill will towards Ezra Miller. I think he's, I think when he started out, he was an incredibly talented actor. But I think now he's become more of like a public persona. So I think his ability to disappear into roles is kind of going away. Mika, I'm not sure if New Gods will be at DC Fandom. They did list Tom King, but he might be there in a comic book capacity because Scott Snyder was also listed there as well. Let's see. Sean Malia says, what trailers can we expect from DC Fandom? I think there will be some kind of Wonder Woman visual, and I think that there's going to probably be something from Suicide Squad. I don't know if you're going to get anything else. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne Johnson has something planned. And I think there will be big surprises. I think they're really on top of this. I think that Warner Brothers, for once in their frickin' life, they're doing something right. And it's really cool. I'm so excited. You're like, you're doing it. You're doing it. I don't think, DJ, there will be any Batfleck announcements at DC Fandom, quite frankly. Oh, there will be a Snyder Cut trailer, which I've seen. So that'll be the other. So those are the three trailers I think you'll get. I think you'll get Suicide Squad, Snyder Cut, and Wonder Woman. That's pretty darn good for 24 hours. I don't know if they can really support any more trailers than that, quite frankly. Armando, I reported that they're not only working on a Zatanna movie, but also a Raven movie. And I speculated that was to compete with the popularity of Scarlet Witch over at Marvel. Jose Garcia says, what is your favorite Harley Quinn costume / outfit? You know, I never thought that I would go away from the original Jester costume. That was fantastic. But I love the new animated series so much that I like that a lot. I like her in red and black. I've come to like the blonde ponytails a lot, but the pink and the blue. But she looks Margot Robbie looks very good in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So I kind of like the look that Arkham came up with, Batman, Rocksteady, which is the blonde hair, and then the black and red coloring, even including the ponytails. Yes, Zone, I haven't seen it fully rendered though. I've seen the unrendered version of the Snyder Cut trailer. It's a full trailer. Joe says, how bad is my eyesight? I probably couldn't survive without mine for a day. Yeah, I think I've told that story before. I remember when I was in school, this boy said, if it wasn't for the advent of glasses, I would have walked off a cliff a long time ago. And I thought that was very funny because I could relate to it. I'm very near. I can't see I can't see anything basically if I take my glasses off. It's not good. I would have a real problem. Samir says, will there be a Mulan watch along? That's a great idea, Samir. There probably will be. I got to see what's going on with other stuff. I don't like to talk about watch alongs too much in advance. Mika says, is the Mandalorian trailer still dropping during DC fandom? Well, I haven't heard for sure, but the speculation is that it'll drop sometime around then. So they could be jerks and drop it on the 22nd and just ruin my life. But I would prefer it if they would drop it on the 21st, which is one of the days they might drop it, which is the day before, and because it'll be in the evening, goddammit, during the game. So, but luckily, DC fandom doesn't start till 1 p.m. So I can cover the Mandalorian trailer, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ahsoka. So it's going to blow up and be like just absolutely nuts. So I hope that they have that on the Friday, and then I can sleep in and then cover DC fandom for the rest of the day. Justin, I'm glad you're here today too. Hey, Gorilla My Dreams. I'm glad you're a new member. Thank you for joining. Chico says, what are my dinner plans tonight? I was thinking of making roast chicken, but I might just make that for tomorrow. I kind of feel like macaroni and cheese. Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's delicious. When Brad Pitt made it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was like, that's me! Single person to single person. Although I'm happy to say I have a little bit of a cleaner living space than he does. Oh, hey, Scott. I think DC fandom content will not be available after the fact. The trailers probably will be. Oh, yeah. Alvaro, if they do a Mandalorian trailer, it's getting a shot-by-shot. Reaction and shot-by-shot. I would have done a Boys Season 2 shot-by-shot of the last trailer, but, you know, I was really behind on my schedule. They unfortunately dropped the trailer on the same day as the Disney earnings call. And also, it's very hard for me to react to a trailer once I've started to watch, do a breakdown of a trailer once I've started to watch the show. Because I don't want to give anything away to you. There's like a lot of reveals in the first 3 episodes. That embargo for for the Boys lifts on the Monday after DC fandom. So I have to do my review earlier so that I don't almost knock down my hair stuff. Okay. The Geeky Gator, maybe they should drop the DC fandom panels on HBO Max, but that's not what they're doing. They're doing their own little Comic-Con event, and I understand that they want this to have like a sense of immediacy. So that's why they're doing it that way. That's right, Gorilla My Dreams. I would like to take Thursday off or maybe Friday during the day off. Because I'll be working Saturday and Sunday. Movie Math that week will have to be on the Monday. So, and I'm going to have to move my food delivery too. So I think that I'll probably take Friday off most of the day. Joe says, will you react to the Snyder Cut trailer even though you already saw it? Yes, I will, because I haven't seen it rendered. And I will admit at the beginning of the reaction that I've already seen it unrendered. But I want to see Desaad's face. I only saw like an outline. Colby says, Grace, are there any casting announcements that you're anticipating for DC fandom? I expect the full cast for Black Adam. Or at least some major key players. Oh, that's very nice of you, Platinum Diva. Tomorrow is my day off. I'm really determined next week to be on schedule. That's my goal. Isaac, I did watch Chernobyl. I loved all of it until the last episode, and then I felt I didn't like that as much. AJ, I believe Suicide Squad, I'm not sure. They haven't specified if it's rated R. I can see it being rated R, but it would be, I don't know. It would have to be really good to still make a lot of money. I mean, Joker did. Can James Gunn deliver something that's Joker level and Nolan level? I don't know. Jonathan, will I review Fargo Season 4? I'll probably review the beginning episodes, but I don't know if I'll review the whole season. It depends what's going on at the time and if people are interested. Oh, Evan, you're going back to school. All right, be very safe. Be safe, please. All right, I better get going. You guys are lovely as always. I always enjoy talking to you. There are not going to be weekend streams for a while just because of what's going on right now. It's just crazy. Don't worry, Luke. I'll be shot by shotting every single freaking trailer out of DC Fandom. Oh boy, that'll be on the day after though. The day of, I'm going to be just doing reactions and breaking news videos. That's how I'm going to cover it. Unless it turns out to be super slow, but I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, so Sunday streams, there won't be Sunday streams. Instead, I'm going to be doing Monday through Thursday streams. And next week, we're doing Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. every day, unless something comes up. And then on Friday, a week from today, we have the watch-along at 7 p.m., and we're going to do Batman Returns. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right, everybody, have a great weekend, and Movie Math will go up on Sunday. All right, bye. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.